negative impact COVID had on the practice? Well, we'll call it negative, but in actual sense, scientifically, there's no result as negative because it's also a learning curve. It was a learning curve.
Today we are talking about winning in 2023.
Speaking of the human
papilloma, HPV,
and all that too. These are very important. Even the childhood vaccinations could be done in a hospital, in the pharmacy, community pharmacy. And that's what brings me to cooperation. You can have a high HU at the place.
Community health extension
workers.
Their license.
There could be, in this era of telemedicine, where people can consult a doctor online. You could have a doctor that works with you. For some things you need to do, have a phone reference, and then those doctors need to return the courtesy by sending the patient you have sent to them back to you to get their medication. So there has to be collaboration for us to grow both ways, everybody.
So you don't practice solo?
No, nobody's an island.
Welcome back, esteemed viewers, to the CP Accelerator Show, and I'm sure you're having a very wonderful moment and you are learning great things, great applications you can have in your pharmacy to make 2023 an amazing year of practice. And of course, we have in our studios today the very Amazon of pharmacy, our mother, pharmacist Mrs. Agbomma Esom-Ibe FPSN. Thank you once again, ma'am. And we continued the conversation. We were talking about the practical solutions that our viewers can apply in their practice to make to benefit from the gains of the challenges, the positive sides to all what we've been through, as pharmacists in the couple of years. And we have talked about partnerships. We talked about kicking away the R&G syndrome in 2023. We talked about the importance of proper bookkeeping, and we also talked about professionalism against the inadequate regulation. You talked about our colleagues being true to themselves, because it's behind every illegal premises there is a pharmacist there, and we're still talking. So what are those other practical solutions that you can recommend for our colleagues out there to apply?
Okay, before the break, I was talking about the government angle.
That's true.
Regulation is regulation, like I mentioned the FCCPC. So the same economy, every other person uses the same economy pharmacist will use.
True.
We go to the same market. So this regulation should cut across all sectors of the economy, so that life will be a lot easier. You will not be forced to go the wrong way. We have talked about proper bookkeeping and all that. With your staff, you could hire someone if you can afford it to do for you. But basically, not be the one keeping the books. Again, I will talk about, like we mentioned, walking the talk. A lot has been put in to train pharmacists in vaccination. But unfortunately, what I see about the vaccination aspect, I see a one-sided thing about COVID vaccine. No, there are some vaccines that are super important.
Very true.
Hepatitis is a very virulent element. Okay? And these are vaccines that can prevent people like hepatitis B. Vaccine can prevent you from getting hepatitis B and eventually having cancer of the liver. The cervical cancer vaccine could stop women from having cervical cancer, Speaking of the human papilloma,
HPV,
and all that. So these are very important. Even the childhood vaccinations could be done in a hospital, in the pharmacy, community pharmacy. And that's what brings me to collaboration.
To what?
Collaboration.
Okay, collaboration. Okay.
By community pharmacists.
Very true.
Get a team you can work with. Other healthcare practitioners that can work with you. You can have a high HU at the place.
Community health extension workers.
Their
license.
There could be, in this era of telemedicine, where people can consult a doctor online. You could have a doctor that works with you. For some things you need to do, have a formulary or directory where you can do reference. And then those doctors need to return the courtesy by sending the patient you have sent to them back to you to get their medication. So there has to be collaboration for us to do both ways, everybody.
So you don't practice solo?
No, nobody's an island. And then medical practice is not for one person.
Absolutely.
You can't be a heroic physician, you can't be a heroic pharmacist, you can't be a heroic nurse, or heroic ophthalmologist. At some point, you must collaborate with someone. If actually your practice is patient-centric, if your business is with the patient, you're more interested in the patient getting well, you must reach out to people, you must work with the team. Very important, super duper important.
Awesome.
So we must think about collaboration, we must think about, building bridges and expanding, and not boxing ourselves in. It's COVID vaccine, COVID vaccine. There's a lot of controversies around the COVID vaccination. I'm done with mine. So I have no issues with that. But you still have people who have issues with, the conspiracy theory and all that. So there are other vaccines we must emphasize. The pneumococcal vaccine for diabetics. Okay? We know that it is very important for every diabetic. And diabetes is a pandemic on its own. It's a global menace. If you look at the number of people that are coming down with diabetes, it's scary. So how many of the diabetic patients have you told that, you need to take this vaccine? How do they assess the vaccine? That's also another question. So pharmaceutical care should be holistic.
Yeah.
And it's super practiced in the community pharmacy setting, where you have your point of care to do at least the initial testing and diagnosis and all that. So it gives you an idea of what you are expecting, what you're suspecting, even before you refer. And then you have the opportunity to counsel the patient and say, this is what needs to be done. I, in practice, had never counseled a diabetic patient on the phone. I usually insist, please, you need to call me. And it's usually like a 30-minute solid session.
You don't get the people who call you and say, my sister, I have this thing now. What drug should I buy?
No, when it comes to chronic ailments, especially diabetes, I need to sit down with the patient. I need to tell him what this involves. What this involves. I need to let you know what you should do and what you shouldn't do. Not scare the patient, educate the patient. And usually you hear me tell patients that, I'm giving you all this information because you need to own your own health. If you own your health, then my job is a lot easier. That is when healing starts. I have some diabetic patients who will send me every Friday. The first message I get in the morning on WhatsApp is their fasting blood sugar reading.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they keep the records, they do, I follow up. Even if it's high, they keep the records, they will start the discussion. So, what happened? And at some point, at least every 6 months, HbA1c. You see that they've owned their health. That way they're healthy. Secondly, they can pass on the correct information. It's no longer witchcraft. It's no longer their father's brother who wants to take the land in the village, who's sending them Oshu. Right? So these are things we can do. And we should do because it's a holistic thing when it comes to. Again, pharmaceutical care is not just about using the right drug, the right costs, and the right time. How much have you impacted the life of that patient? Are you interested in what's going on with the patient? Does the patient know I can manage my health wherever I am? What if that patient leaves your environment? Wherever he goes to, can he own his health? Have you empowered him? Basically, that's what I mean.
Okay, let me ask you this question. Some people would feel that all these things you said, 30-minute session with the patient, the Nigerian patient is hungry, doesn't have money. Let me ask you, can you look back and say you have really gained anything? How has this special session helped your own practice?
Those patients are so lovely. They don't talk to anybody.
They stick to you like glue. Is there any what is the impact on your bills, on your revenue?
I've been saying this are chronic ailments, and I'll let you know. As far as we are concerned now, we're yet to get a cure for diabetes. I will not tell a patient diabetes has no cure. No, that's discouraging. No matter where I sit, I'll tell you from now, there is no cure for diabetes, just the same way we talk to HIV patients. But there is no cure yet for HIV. We're praying and hoping there will be a cure. But for now, you need to take your medication. You need to do all those lifestyle adjustments. So you're seeing the truth the way it is. And then this patient does look, since I started talking with this lady, so I started interacting. I take my medications, I do my life, I'm good. What does this person
They just stick to you like glue. And there's something you said which I'd like to highlight here. Very importantly is that they get the right information. And so it helps to reduce the wrong information in circulation.
Yes.
I mean, that's a great thing.
Within their immediate community, this was what I heard. I've never had anybody to interpret it to me this way. You see, a lot of diabetic patients who go on fasting, believing that when they fast,
The sugar level will drop.
because they've been chopping life, that's why the sugar level is going. And then you let them explain it to them and tell them how the body compensates for lack of glucose, which means actually your fast has triggered off more sugar to produce. The liver begins to break down fat into glucose.
Yes.
Because the brain
Mobilization of glucose
Yes.
from non-glucogenic.
Yeah, and then when they understand it, they'll know that starvation is not the solution.
Exactly.
The solution is the proper diet, the proper portion, your medication. As little as it might be, any form of comfortable exercise. That's it.
So this is very important to note. Starving yourself as a diabetic does not reduce your sugar level, does not necessarily reduce your sugar level, but the healthy lifestyle adjustments, modifications, alongside the medications can be the game changer. Let me quickly look at something you said very quickly before we go on break. How profitable is the vaccine business? Really, given that a lot of primary healthcare centers, hospitals give this vaccine, can a pharmacist, looking at your own experience, can a pharmacist, apart from the satisfaction that they and the fact that your reward is in heaven, can a pharmacist thrive on the vaccine business? And how readily available are these vaccines?
I'll say yes. It's not like the volume of practices here all over the place. No. But what you've succeeded in doing, medical practice is tending towards preventive health.
That's true.
Okay? What you've succeeded in doing is providing access to this, providing awareness. And you know about the herd immunity in the society.
That's true.
Yeah, the more the people that are vaccinated, there's that greater protection for people, in the society. It's not like the money comes in droves. No, it could come in trickles, but it is steady. It's also an alternative source of income. Okay, the vaccines are available. There are companies that are involved in vaccination. Emzo Pharmaceuticals have a vaccine arm. Philly Pharmaceuticals have a vaccine arm. Pfizer has a vaccine arm. And then the guys who used to be the biggest player in the vaccine space, GSK. Okay, so these vaccines are available. And then there are private vaccine
distributors?
Yes, like Medvac.
Okay.
And Pharmaceutical in Lagos. And then Victory is also into Victory.
Yeah, that's the vaccine pharmacist in Lagos.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's available. Vaccines are available. The only delicate thing about vaccines is storage. You can't break the cold chain. It's a no-no. So there are things like when I was doing the COVID vaccination at my place, what I do is to get the people to be vaccinated, people from the primary health care body will come with the vaccines, vaccinate them and do. COVID vaccination was strictly free and it's still free as far as River State is concerned. So where the charges used to come from is the hepatitis B vaccine. You got to pay for it. Okay. But the screening is free at my place.
Okay.
The screen for free. But you pay for the vaccine. And because Philips Pharmaceuticals will give you the screening, the scripts free.
Okay, if you are getting the vaccine,
they are the ones I.
All right, thank you. So you heard it. It is another area you can incorporate into your practice, and you can also be adding value to your customers. You can also be adding value to your clients, and you can also be making them see that pharmacy is just beyond the drugs on the shelf. There is something else. We are not waiting for them to be sick, but we are also ready to promote prevention, which of course we know is better and cheaper than cure. We'll go on another short break, and then when we be right back very soon. And of course, we'll be going to another interesting part of this topic, of this discussion today, and that has to do with the new pharmacy law, the PCN Act of 2022. You will be hearing how this new law in pharmacy in Nigeria is going to be affecting the practice of pharmacy in the new year, being the first year of its implementation. We'll be right back. Still, yours sincerely, Pharmacist Joel Birim on the CP Accelerator Show, and I have with me here Pharmacist Agbomma Esom-Ibe Shares. We'll be right back.
This episode is proudly supported by Kinomal-Forte, a brand of artemether-lumefantrine anti-malarial tablet, and Kimbrex, a leading brand of celecoxib capsules, providing excellent pain relief all day with less risk of bleeding and gastrointestinal side effects compared to other NSAIDs. And New Malt, a unique and highly sought-after brand of multivitamins containing ginseng, selenium, aloe vera, and other minerals for all-round vitality and immune support. All from the stables of Kingsley Pharmaceuticals Limited, located at Kingsley Foundation Complex, Kilometer 100 East-West Road, near Romodera Junction, Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Call 0803-494-6900 or 0805-901-3884.
Welcome back, viewers, to the CP Accelerator Show, and we have been having a great time with the Amazon herself, and we've been talking about how to navigate the storms of 2023 pharmaceutically, and she has been dishing it to us hot, like they say. And I'm sure if you've been following this show from the beginning, you cannot say you have not learned something. You can't tell me you have not found something that's a new eureka moment for your practice. Certainly, you must have been impacted. And I have with me here Pharmacist Agbomma Esom-Ibe, Fellow of the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria. And I'm yours sincerely, Pharmacist Joseph Eberim. So, like I promised you, when we come back, I told you we're going to be delving into the PCN Act 2022. We're going to be looking at how does this law affect pharmacy practice, especially the community pharmacy, as we enter into its first year of operation. So, ma'am, welcome back.
Thank you.
So, last year, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, signed into law the long-awaited pharmacy law. And there was so much excitement in the pharma world in Nigeria. And then we're looking at 2023, its first year of operation. What can you say? Tell us, how do you even feel about the new pharmacy law?
Okay. The first beauty of the pharmacy law is changing it from the Pharmacist Act or law to the pharmacy law.
Okay.
Because when it was
to the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria, that's
instead of Pharmacist Council, because when it was Pharmacist Council, a lot of people, charlatans, exploited it and insisted the law was made for pharmacists.
Okay.
But now that is the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria and the Pharmacy Act, anywhere drugs are sold is under the purview of the PCN.
What of animal drugs?
It is drugs. Drugs are drugs.
Oh, so the law affects also veterinary.
There is one English, and drug is English, it's not Latin. It's not even Hebrew.
Okay.
So anything drug, wherever it is sold, it's under the supervision of the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria. So now, they have more powers to operate.
Oh.
They have more powers to regulate the practice.
Okay.
What that is going to do for us, if it is managed well, will help us take away quacks from the system. That is, if we, the pharmacists, cooperate, okay, with the PCN. Like I said earlier, sometime during this interview, behind every legal premises, you see a pharmacist, yes. So when pharmacists make up their minds that don't want to sell their begged rights for a measure of porridge by going to give your license to a charlatan to do whatever he likes because he's giving you peanuts, then, and the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria is regulating the practice, then the pharma space is going to be clean. Then we'll start breathing. Because a lot of people can't breathe now. We're like that guy in the US, that Judge Fredman, the guy that was killed, that was shouting he cannot breathe.
Okay.
So a lot of pharmacists can't breathe in Nigeria. We're just existing. Then we will start living. That is the beauty of that law. The law also, I won't say it's so comfortable for pharmacists, but what it's going to do is that it's going to make us better practitioners.
For the benefit of the patient?
Yes.
Okay.
It aims at making us better, not that we're not good practitioners, but making us better, taking us to that better place. All to the advantage of the patient.
Absolutely.
So that is what we're looking at. So we're going to be on top of our games as pharmacists. We have to, get our acts together. That's what it means. And then if the PCN, which is the Pharmacy Council of Nigeria, does what it ought to do, supported by the government, then there'll be a clean-up of the system. There'll be a clean-up of the environment. There'll be a mop-up of all these quacks, and probably reduce RNG, the register and go syndrome, which is not accepted by any standards. Doesn't happen anywhere in the world to the best of our ability, not even in the nearby Ghana. No.
Okay, now there is this part of the law, because we are looking at the areas that pharmacists can leverage on. Are there areas that the new law has opened up for pharmacists to leverage on and improve their practice? Like the satellite pharmacy.
Online pharmacy.
Tell us about those.
Okay. One, the online pharmacy, for both the online pharmacy and the satellite pharmacy, you must have a brick and mortar existing, which means you'll be a physical entity.
First.
Like AB pharmacy is existing. If somebody has to track it physically.
So it's not just that you open a Facebook page or an Instagram handle or a TikTok pharmacy. Or just a website.
You must have a brick and mortar.
Okay, there has to be physical.
There must be a physical.
Okay.
So there is AB pharmacy physically now. Then AB pharmacy can go online. Because before now, you just go on Jumia and they are selling prescription drugs. There's a Mentin on sale. There's new Medrol on sale. A lot of antibiotics on sale. You just go to this other one, all those.
Some supermarkets sell even Viagra. I used to think that was a prescription drug.
It's a prescription drug.
Oh, okay.
Viagra is a prescription drug.
And so many aphrodisiacs.
No business talking all that.
You see it where, this area where they keep condoms.
They have no business. When you go to the UK, what you see in supermarkets are over-the-counter drugs, paracetamol.
But is that dangerous, selling it in the supermarket? How dangerous is that?
What's that?
You selling things like prescription drugs like Viagra?
It's a no, because what do they even know? If you know the history of Viagra originally was not made for erectile dysfunction.
Very true.
Viagra has a long history for angina pectoris. And the trip it took, when they noticed this side effect, an angina patient takes it and begins to have an erection, which was a no, the two will not get together. They're having this severe chest pain. They're having an erection. How does that work? And then Viagra went back, which is sildenafil, back to the lab. Research and development was done for over 15 years to make it what it is now. You do not know this history. You have no business selling drugs.
They work, and that's all.
No, if you're not a pharmacist, you have no business selling drugs. And maybe the act will also help us to mop up all this madness going on in the society. If they work well. Every corner Sometimes they even come to already existing pharmacies to market herbal remedies. They are mobile killers. That's what I call them. Killers on wheel. This one, that one. If they cure staphylococcus, if they cure streptococcus, it cures pneumococcus, salmonella, and then you're just asking yourself, what is wrong with us? And what is wrong with the society? Do we have a government that sleep? Are the regulatory agencies in coma? Okay? Yeah. So probably that will help us mop up all that. Because sometimes by the time your patients come to see you, they already have dead.
That's true.
Imbibing all those herbal things that have no standardization, has no dosage, some of them are laced with orthodox drugs. We've seen Agbo that contains tramadol inside. But it's supposed to be a herbal therapy, a remedy. Yeah. But you see some, they've laced tramadol in it. They have ciprofloxacin in it.
That's really very scary, really.
Okay? So they are not real herbal remedies. And then
they're even avenues for drug trafficking.
Yes. Drug substance abuse and all that. The real herbal remedies, they have their own niche and where they operate. But these guys are all over the place. They're like the former we used to have when I was in primary school, and I think early secondary school, the Dagaman. You join a bus and they're marketing medication and all that.
Okay, Molwe buses and all that.
You know? So it's a dangerous trend. So which we believe that
new pharmacy law also fix it.
Sort all that
so very quickly, so you talk about the online and satellite pharmacy. How can pharmacists leverage on this very quickly? How can they leverage on this?
Yeah, it's captured in the law. Okay. But if you read the pharmacy law and you don't quite understand what it's all about, there's a PCN office in every state.
That's true.
So you go to the PCN office, they'll explain to you what you need to be able to register. But like I said, you must have a brick and mortar first to register an online pharmacy. And then you must be existing too to have a satellite pharmacy. So many local governments do not have the reach of pharmacists. So what the satellite pharmacy is supposed to do is set up rural pharmacies to be supervised by the pharmacist in the urban area with someone there working that's qualified to handle drugs. Okay, so that's what it's all about. So for both of them, you must have a brick and mortar place.
All right.
And that's why I had mentioned partnerships before. Pharmacists to come together. And not like I want to run the online aspect of this business. You run the brick and mortar. Oh, I want to be the satellite eye, and you're pulling resources together. You're pulling your bridge together. You're pulling your powers together instead of having smaller units that are struggling.
Awesome. So fantastic. So you heard it again. The online pharmacy, the satellite pharmacy are areas you can use to even expand your reach, get bigger and more clientele, while also spreading the accessibility of our people to professional pharmaceutical service. So we'll go on the final break, and then when we come back, we'll be rounding up today's interview by looking at, should I spill the bean? Let the cat out the bag. We'll be talking about something that is trending, and that is the Japa syndrome. We'll be right back. Remember, it's still yours sincerely, Pharmacist Joseph, with our Amazon pharmacist Agbomma Esom-Ibe Shares.
This episode is proudly supported by Malfort, a brand of artemether-lumefantrine anti-malarial tablet, and Kimbrex, a leading brand of celecoxib capsules, providing excellent pain relief all day with less risk of bleeding and gastrointestinal side effects compared to other NSAIDs. And New Malt, a unique and highly sought-after brand of multivitamins containing ginseng, selenium, aloe vera, and other minerals for all-round vitality and immune support. All from the stables of Kingsley Pharmaceuticals Limited, located at Kingsley Foundation Complex, Kilometer 100 East-West Road, near Romodera Junction, Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Call 0803-494-6900 or 0805-901-3884.
All right, welcome back, viewers, to an amazing and explosive session we're having with an Amazon of Pharmacy, and we have been talking about thriving in 2023. as a community pharmacist. And of course, this is the CP Accelerator Show, and we are very, very grateful to all our sponsors and partners, and to say that you too can also be a sponsor of this show. And of course, we hope to get questions, contributions on the comment section when this video is uploaded, so you can be part of this show in a way. Make sure you're gaining something, because that's the whole essence of this show. You gain something and you make your practice better, and we all are happy for it as pharmacists, and our patients out there are getting the very best. So let's get to the last part of this interview. I bet you, I'm sure you wouldn't want this to end, but man, we have been talking about a whole lot, but there is this part of our society, this reality that has dawned on us that we think that it's also something to look at, and that is the emigration, the Japa syndrome. It seems everybody is leaving Nigeria, and I don't know if that is the case with pharmacists. Pharmacists are pharmacists living for greener pastures?
Oh yes.
Are you worried about this?
Super worried.
So, what are the positive and or negative implications of this Japa reality?
I don't think there's any positive for the country. For the individuals, yes, their economy will improve, they will get experience after pharmacy. It's practiced outside this climb in very organized society. Maybe for the individuals, yes. For the country, no. For the patients, double no. Knowing the importance of the pharmacist in the health scheme, or the medical scheme. It is the pharmacist who does the research and development. It is the pharmacist who discovers the drugs. It is the pharmacist who manufactures the drug. It is the pharmacist who markets the manufactured drugs. And again, it helps in the dispensing, prescription, editing, auditing, medication therapy management, and all sorts of everything that has to do with drugs. Like I said earlier, you could do all the diagnoses in the world. If there are no medications to take care of, oh, you have noticed that this person has a headache in the stomach. If there's no medication to take care of headache in the stomach, what are you going to do? That's a dead patient right there. So just so you can go home and die in peace.
Go in peace and die.
Yes.
Oh dear.
So, okay, knowing the role the pharmacist plays as far as the health of the populace is concerned, it is worrisome. It is a big problem.
Yeah.
Bigger than we can imagine. According to the WHO, the World Health Organization, pharmacist ratio to population. The WHO says that for every 2,000 persons, they must have access to one pharmacist. Assuming this is our community, 2,000 persons in each community, in this community must have one pharmacist to see. Which means if we're 4,000, we should have 2 pharmacists in that community. Nigeria has a population of 200 million. That's what they keep on telling us. We don't know how they arrived at that, but we have 200 million. That's what's on paper. So when you divide it by 2,000, that should tell you how many pharmacists we should have in the country. We're nowhere near that ratio. As it is now, currently, before the Japa syndrome, the ratio we have in Nigeria is 1 pharmacist to 265 persons. The standard is 1 to 2,000. So I should be seeing like 2,000 persons. 2,000 persons should be able to have access to me. What we have now is 1 pharmacist to 265,000 persons. Which means, as it is, we don't even have enough. We don't have enough pharmacists. And then if the few we have, even with the increase in schools of pharmacy, there are so many. When I went to the university, like 20-something years ago, not be intimidated. We had like 5 to 9 schools of pharmacy. Now there's so many. Even with that,
private universities.
Yes, even with that increase, we still have like a ratio of 1 pharmacist to 265 persons. So that's a no-no. That's wrong. All shades of wrong. So we don't even have enough
Then
and then people are moving.
People are leaving.
And then if you check the world records, Canada comes fourth. And the ratio that WHO used internationally was 1 to 1,000. That's one pharmacist to 1,000 persons, not 2,000 persons.
Yeah.
Okay.
So ours is in the consideration.
Yeah, so that 1 to 1,000 persons,
Canada
Canada ranks fourth
fourth.
internationally.
Yet
Canada is still asking for more persons. As a pharmacist today, I'm qualified, I do my application, Canada tells me to come. Our colleagues are moving to Canada. Recently, Australia opened their borders.
United Kingdom as well.
United Kingdom has been there. Australia just recently, before it was difficult to get into Australia. Australia just opened their borders. So pharmacists are moving in droves. Australia. Places that are already comfortable. It's like me now going to buy tea for Dangote. And we say, well, life no balance now. That's unfair. So it's disturbing. It is all shades of bad for the country, for the economy, for the health of the society, and nature abhors a vacuum. Something unsavory, something uninteresting, something bad will fill those gaps.
Perhaps undermining some of the things we discussed.
Like I said, bad, unsavory, uninteresting. So it's a bad thing for the country.
Let me ask you, if a pharmacist chooses to stay back, is there a reason you would even recommend? Is there anything that is enticing for which you would ask any pharmacist to stay back?
It's going to get better. Just like the churches, I'll sell hope. Because that's what the church sells. The only commodity the church sells.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. So it's going to get better. If we have a good government, if we have a government that should reason at the rate normal people reason, and again a populace that decides to make the government work. Because sometimes I say it to friends anyway. First time I'm saying it publicly.
Okay.
We have good government, we have worse followers, worse citizens. Because what some of us do in our tiny enclaves, where we're leaders and where we're terrible. Terrible. That means if we become councillors and local government chairmen and all that, we'll be worse than the people we're critiquing now. So when we have good government and all of us as citizens decide to help the government to work, it's going to get better. I'm sure that most of our people out there will come back. Because if you're close to one or two people out there, they'll tell you, I can't do this forever. Okay? The weather and us, the highest weather we have here, the harshest is winter, is Hamatan. It's not the same thing as winter. So, but that's a society where things work. You pay your taxes, you see light, there's power. Roads, passable roads and all that. So everybody wants that law and order. But it's ironic that you travel out of the country and you see Nigerians, they're so orderly at the airport out there. Immediately we get to international airport, Murtala Mohammed. There's this madness like, I just hailed it. I just hailed the crease. Maybe all the crease they go.
Okay.
So I know people will come back to help build the country. But the environment needs to be, like I mentioned earlier, this partial regulation, you want to regulate consumer protection, how much they sell drugs and vitamin C. Can you please regulate the cost of rice? Which is what every family in Nigeria eats. Can you please regulate the price of flour? Because every growing child eats bread.
That's true.
Can you please regulate the price of tomatoes, oil and all that? Fuel. Because I have to run generator. And you know that constitutes my overhead cost.
Okay.
So it's going to impact.
Sorry, I have to cut you here because we just have a few minutes to the end of the show, and we've been saying a whole lot about how there is hope and how we can thrive in 2023. From what our guest has said, there is hope. Yeah, things can get better if the government gets better and the people as well endeavor to get better, and if pharmacists also leverage on some of the solutions that have been preferred here in this show to make their practice better. So there is hope, even in the midst of the storm.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what are your parting sentence to our viewers out there? Yeah, in just 1 minute.
Okay, thank you. I'll talk to my colleagues, basically. Like I usually do, when I was a chairman of ACP in River State, I have one mantra that we should stop reading the book of Lamentation because it wasn't written for pharmacists.
At all.
So we should just walk the talk and do what we know is right. It's easier to do the right thing. And we hope and pray that it's going to get better. There's a silver lining somewhere in that dark cloud.
Thank you. There is a silver lining in that dark cloud. There is hope, and we can do better. And he has signature words. The book of Lamentations wasn't written for pharmacists. Thank you so much, Pharmacist Agbomma Esom-Ibe FPSN. This is the much we can have on today's session and on this maiden episode of the CP Accelerator Show. No doubt it's been an amazing time learning from the best, from the award-winning Pharm Agbomma, the highly involved community pharmacist herself. She's been with us on this show, and we are super elated to have her. Thank you for sticking with us. We hope you have been blessed. We hope you've learned a lot. And of course, in our next edition, there will be yet another amazing session for you to benefit from, all geared towards making our community pharmacies better and more fulfilling. Thank you for being with us. Special thanks to all our sponsors, our partners, ProMate Studios, and of course all our partners as well, Trendy Studios, and all those who have made this edition a success. Thank you for sticking with us. Do have a wonderful time. I remain Pharmacist Joseph Ibiri, also known as MC Dr. Spice. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching today's episode. We hope you enjoyed it and you learned something great. If you did, please drop a comment on the comment section. And if you have any question, feel free to post it on the comment section. Our resource persons will be available to provide answers to your questions. Remember to contact us for any inquiry, sponsorship, and advert via the contact on your screen. Remember, until you take new and better action, you will never see new and better results. Goodbye for now.